can we just talk about how fucked up Christianity is? So, you'll notice I've had spiritual videos about Jesus and stuff, just like I had some things I couldn't explain. Like, I saw a dude with a Jesus hat, and then when I drove to a random spot, there was a Jesus edifice right next to it. There's been weird things like that. Or, like, when I got, see, there could be a conspiracy of people who keep the belief in God alive by doing things that are strange. I've considered that, but I still I signed up for a PO box, got PO box 111. I got a hotel 111, hotel 111, and then I had a hotel 128 by the time on the clock was 11:11 when I walked in. Who who in the hell is able to time it so when I walk into the hotel room the time is 11:11, right? The only answer I have is that there is this transcendental super consciousness, or maybe like a paranormal power, or maybe my mind is that intelligent that I could have guessed such a thing, and maybe I'm just super lucky. But there's enough weird things that happen that there just has to be like almost a Tao, right? But my problem with the Bible is the Bible says that there was a global flood. It says that the only people who survived, the only animals that survived, were on one big boat. And it gave the destination of that boat as Mount Arriot, which is also the expansion pack of Diablo 2. Anyway, yeah, it's just like it makes these claims, and then it says you have to believe him. Like, as a child, I tried to mind wash myself with the rosary. You poor child, what a poor person. Your brain is there for you to think about you and your life, and you got some priest taking off a piece of your dick and going, I need you to recite this prayer to this person who doesn't exist 120 times in a row, so that whoever you were before you got here no longer exists and you just live to this thing. It's horrendous. Like, I'm out here alone choosing consciously to stop believing in Jesus, and I'm like seeing crucifixes I've been trying to imagine, like permanently putting it. I was a fool. I got fooled. The damn book. You have to look at the Bible as a hoax. It's the only way to see it properly, and when you do, it's shocking and disgusting what it's done to everybody for things that just aren't true. There's no evidence of a global flood. There is no evidence that the whole world at one time was underwater for 6 months. That didn't happen. There's no evidence that happened. There's nothing on earth that looks like that went on. And what people said, I saw this kid yesterday, he goes, and he was raised believing it. I was too. I was raised believing it. Held hands with my nephews. I sung in choir. I've been genitally altered. That cover's there for a reason, you psychos. Penises haven't changed a lot in the mammal species. Every mammal's penis has a foreskin, except for humans when they cut it off. Jesus. Like, even saying that, don't take God's name in vain. I've been trying to make that real. Even though I consider myself a free person, I still use the God word, but the God word only comes from the Bible. And so every time I use it, I'm re-putting myself in a slave world. It's a crazy thing to wake up to. Reality's nuts. There ain't an easy, simple solution to reality. You can't remotely just figure it out. It doesn't work that way. You got to go discover it, right? You got to see it for yourself. And there is a spirit. Like, I can't make up, like... So, there's something that happens on, like, marijuana, where there's a special point where you start seeing meaning in everything, right? Like, any random rock, like, I'm seeing Fozzie Bear playing a flute, and there's great tapestry on this rock, right? Really looks like it to me. I'll take a photo of it and figure out how to get it in here, maybe. And the thing about seeing it like that is as soon as you see it that way, it's stuck, and you can only see it that way. And then that recognition of like point and meaning to me is what God means. White butterfly again. There's definitely a presence of an organizing spirit here. You know, maybe the Bible is true. Maybe there was a great flood. Maybe it was magic water. You know what I mean? Like maybe it loosed and acted upon the earth in a totally conscious, God-driven way, right? But it's just more likely it didn't happen because there's just no evidence. There's no evidence. You can't, like, here's what scientists have done. They've looked at how rivers deposit silt over time. They've watched that motherfucker and carefully measured, and then they go, how much new earth is being compressed at riverbeds? Per rate per what? And that gave them the ability to look down. And as soon as that happened, as soon as they figured out what that average rate was, they basically were able to figure out how long ago certain strata of stuff was there. Who knows? You know, I'm not a geologist. I'm sure they know a lot. I've studied geology in college. You know, I count as educated. I've taken plenty of field tours and seen marvels. You know, I've seen real marvels. I gotta show you this. It does look like Fozzie. I don't want to do a cut, and because I'm not using a Snapchat. See that? I mean, he looks like Fozzie Bear to me to the left. You hear this thing vibrating? You hear that? That's a musical tone. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean by ETs. Crazy stuff. Wow. So what if the Bible was a lie? Could it be that God exists and the Bible's a myth? Can you hear that? That's real stuff. I'll walk you up there. This is what tripping's like. Remember seeing the ribbon in Star Trek? Yeah, the right way to see it is when your dreaming self and real life become the same. That seems to be good advice. Then again, I've also had 2 dabs. Am I just high? Why should getting high affect physical reality? Unless there's something going on with the way consciousness is. How does consciousness interact with life? It's as people said that this place is like, this simplicity of life on earth is an anchor for a deity's consciousness. Weird vibes. There's a presence here. There's a presence here. I'm getting vibes. Like, there's a sound, a tune that's jumping back and forth. This shit gets so fucking real that you'll hear music in the air. You want to see a miracle? Like, I'm not denying the existence of the paranormal presence of the spirit. Here, get quiet. It's listening. Yeah, pay attention to vibration. The Bible has to be a hoax. There's just no evidence a global flood happened all at once. Unless, the only thing I've said is it could be that the global flood, the evidence of it is so ubiquitous, because that would mean it affected everything. And so if everything has been affected by it, then you wouldn't be able to see one thing that was not affected by it. That means you would have no reference for what something ungreat flooded looked like. You know what I'm saying? That's the possibility of human hubris denying something which may be quite evident has occurred. Like, look at how that pointy rock is just jutting up there. Weird. You hear that vibe? Did you hear that vibe? That's a paranormal thing to create, like this object, like this Fozzie Bear, the thing that got me up. To me, it looked like a distant Fozzie, right? The tone is back. You hear that? Oh, this is paranormal. This is paranormal. There's a spirit. Has to be.